Mr. Speaker, this afternoon I will cast my vote to approve the President's funding to train and equip the moderate Syrian opposition forces. I do so after long consideration and mindful of the difficulties of vetting such a force during the middle of a brutal civil war. Any decision to supply arms to combatants must be weighed carefully. Indeed, for the last several years, I've opposed arming the Syrian rebels out of a concern for our ability to properly vet such troops and the fear that weapons we provide may end up in the wrong hands. Those concerns persist, but they have been overcome by the growing menace of ISIL and the willingness of our regional allies to play a greater and open role in the support of these forces. ISIL now controls about a third of Iraq and a like portion of Syria. It has been unsurpassed in its brutality, committing mass executions, forced conversions, trafficking in women, and beheading its hostages, including Americans James Foley and Stephen Sotloff. If ISIL is allowed to consolidate its territorial gains or expand them, it will be able to act on its stated intention of serving as the platform for attacks on the United States. The thousands of foreign fighters, including Americans who have flocked to join its ranks, will one day attempt to return to the West and attack our homeland. Our response must be proportionate to the threat. It does not justify American occupation of Iraq or Syria or the introduction of American ground forces, all of which are likely to be counterproductive. It does justify the use of American air power, intelligence, financial, diplomatic, and military support. And since air power alone will not be sufficient on the battlefield, it will necessitate the assistance of local ground forces. In the case of Iraq, those ground forces will be provided by the Iraqi military and Kurdish Peshmerga. In Syria, with rigorous vetting, training, and support, the rebel opposition may provide the raw material for a credible military force. There is no guarantee that the Syrian opposition can form a cohesive fighting force, something that has thus far eluded them. But the open support of the Gulf nations in housing and funding this opposition holds the promise of consolidating regional support behind them. I yield back.
Gentleman's time.